Welcome to the Wild Rose Ranch. I'm Micah. That's Melody somewhere over there. And spring is here, and I think we went a little bit nuts. Check this out. So we were gonna limit ourselves and behave, but we got a little excited. We got 2 marionberries and 2, what was the other one? Boysenberry?
Boysenberry.
We're gonna do a trellis of those because the wild blackberries on our property are not that good. A whole bunch of veggies, some allium, tomatoes, a bunch of different varieties, leeks, a bunch of lettuces, a few peppers, some artichoke to get started, some perennial artichoke that is. Over here, let me show you what we got. Now that we got this darn fence done, we can finally plant. Let's see, we got a rhubarb. Couple varieties, ooh, you can even see that, couple varieties of potatoes in those bags. We'll show you later. A bunch more lettuce greens, some kales, some chard, some more peppers, more tomatoes. Got some brassicas as well, and all sorts of good stuff. So we've already planted 2 beds of strawberries. We got these from the neighbor, 36 starts that we just trimmed from the overflow from their beds. It was great. Blueberries are in the ground. I've set up 2 3.5 foot by 20 foot NoDig beds yesterday, and we're probably gonna have to build a couple more to get all our plantings done. Without further ado, let's play with some dirt. I'm so excited. This is our improvised dibber. I'm gonna plant these deep and support the stems more. We are trying to ease into gardening this year and plant a nice mix of things for fresh eating and some for preservation. In future years, I want to ramp things up and try to grow as close to 100% of what we need for the year ourselves, but that'll definitely take some practice and some time.
I have a broccoli problem.
No problem. This compost has tiny little wood slivers in it. I'm kind of regretting the no gloves. Baby, no, my leaks, my leaks! Ah!
There's a dog in your leak.
I'm about to make you leak. So you full of holes. Corey,
Corey, here.
this is why we have gates.
Corey, you have bad taste. Go on over there. Go over there.
How did she do that?
Corey, you're problematic.
The camera is rolling on you. What the heck?
She got stuck.
She had like a little mat and it hooks the mat.
No.
Anyway, yeah, the fence is not actually for deer. We lied. The fence is for these idiots.
Corey.
All right.
We decided to plant in blocks rather than rows, just evenly spacing each plant at its recommended distance in a grid pattern. I found a stout piece of bamboo to make an excellent dibber to create quick holes for each start.
All right, we just got most of the planting done here. We are digging out our 3rd in-ground bed here, which is actually a no-dig bed. And when I say digging out, I mean, remember about a month ago, I spread out all those wood chips we had way too much of? I knew we'd have to dig them out to do our no-dig beds, but I kind of didn't really comprehend how difficult digging out 6 to 8 inches of wood chips would be. So to do our no-dig beds, we're having to do a lot of digging. Once they're dug out, just down to the ground level, we're putting down cardboard, wetting it down, and then bringing in a nice quality local compost that we are confident is not contaminated with any kind of herbicides that might hurt our plants. So we're setting up our 3rd bed here for some melons and squashes. And Mel over there is doing rhubarb.
We are following the Charles Dowding method of no-dig gardening. Seriously, check out his books and socials for a ton of accessible info on the no-dig method.
I another little bit right here.
Just bring this.
Is that allowed?
We built a 3-bin compost system following the Joe Gardner method of 7 pallets simply screwed together however you can manage. One bin is for all of your fresh greens and browns, and after a few months of building the pile, you transfer that to bin 2 to break down. Then start a fresh pile back in bin number 1, and bin 3 is for finished compost. We found free pallets at a local hardware store, so this bin only cost us a few dollars in screws and should work great for a long time.
Got a late start of work this morning, so I thought I'd run out here and give you guys a proper tour of everything we planted. It is 2 days since we did the starts, and let's see how things are doing. Everything seems quite happy. Over on this side, we've got our 6 paste tomatoes that are going to be Florida woven on a trellis. A sun gold cherry tomato and a Brandywine heirloom. These will also be trellised. Half a dozen peppers of different varieties. All of our brassicas right here. We've got 4 Brussels sprouts, 4 broccoli, and 4 broccolinis. Some leeks. These are extra pea shoots that we had that we planted off trellis. We're going to use those just for pea shoots for salads. You just nip the ends of them off when they're about 10 inches tall and just keep doing that as they grow for salad peas. Here we direct sowed carrots and radishes as well as some onions. We got some kale here and direct sowed a different variety of kale. We're going to have too much kale, of course. Golden beets, Swiss chard, 3 different varieties of lettuces, a butter lettuce, Chinese cabbage, climbing cucumber, peas, different variety of peas, and pole beans. This is our melon and squash bed. Not too much in here yet, but we've got a mixed summer squash variety here of zucchini and similar, and then some hard skinned summer squashes here, and we're going to be doing some cantaloupe pretty soon. And Melody, tell us all about your compost bin we made last night.
Well, we slapped this together at the night of dark.
The night of dark?
The dark of night.
The dark of night.
So that no one would know that we made this piece. But it's going to hold lots of our household garbage.
Nice. We just took, what, 7 pallets and screwed them together, finding places to add screws kind of wherever we could. And then it still felt flimsy. So I just slapped some 2x4 bracing on the top. It was kind of liberating to make a sloppy project after trying to be refined.
Joe Lample will be proud.
Heck yeah. On the downhill side of the garden, we've got a couple boysenberries here and a couple marionberries, which were actually developed for the Oregon climate. They're just giant blackberries that don't transport well, so they're hard to buy at the supermarket. These are all going to be trellised here soon. And then over on this side, I've got 8 heritage raspberries that I've planted. These will be put on a tea trellis soon. I found these for a couple dollars a piece from someone on Facebook Marketplace. So keep an eye out on your used marketplaces. There's a lot of good deals on plants I'm finding. All of this in-between space that we are not doing anything with because it's too big. But we're future-proofing and maybe someday we'll grow into it. On the southern edge of the fence here, we've got a couple perennial artichokes of 2 different varieties. our strawberry beds. One established rhubarb plant we planted, one right here. We planted 2 taproots. One of them's coming up. One of them looked quite dead when we planted it. So if all 3 survive, we're gonna have far too much rhubarb. And our blueberries that are just getting started. Let's plant some potatoes. So we've got a couple varieties of potatoes we're gonna plant. Never done this before. And decided to do them in grow bags just because that's a little bit easier, I think. We've got 3 10-gallon polypropylene grow bags. According to what I read online, thank you Epic Gardening, to plant potatoes, you start with 4 to 6 inches of compost in your bag. So we're doing Vivaldi and Masquerade, which is a red variety. And I could either cut these up or do them whole.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Hang on, Siri. You just cut the potato into about 2-inch sections, making sure there's at least 1 sprouting eye on each section, and that will grow into a potato plant. Just do that right into the surface. Make sure the eyes are pointed up, according to the internet. Plant this one whole. And in a bag this size, I believe you can do 3 to 6 potato plants. Since we got too many potatoes, let's do 6. Once those are just set into the surface, then you just pour a few more inches of compost on top. Fold the sides down. Like that. And when these start to sprout, I believe you let the sprouts get 6 to 8 inches tall, and then you bring in more soil, about 2/3 of the length of the shoot, and that will create more root growth, which will be more tuber growth, and you just do that until the bag is full, and then at the end of the season you let the plants die off, dump out the bag, and hopefully this will be full of potatoes. Let's do a couple more. I crowded the heck out of this last potato bag with all the leftover potatoes, so tune in at the end of the summer for how it worked out. Love you guys, and stay tuned for lots more homesteading content. Hey Mel, what you doing?
I'm watering my cardboard so it can grow up big and strong.